Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. I hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far. So today we're going to be talking about the new album by Jorn Lande, which is called Over the Horizon Radar, released on the 17th of June on Frontier Records. So before we talk about the new album, I'm just going to give you a little insight to Jorn's history. Now Jorn was born in 1968 in May, a fantastic Norwegian singer, as we all know, a very successful singer that's been around for many years. Now Jorn's been involved with a lot of bands in the past. He's been involved with such bands as Masterplan, beyond Twilight, who soon released a couple of albums on Massacre Records. Jorn was also involved with a band called Millennium, a band from Florida. Now we all know Jorn was involved with some fantastic bands in the past. Main one was Masterplan, ex-Helloween members, that's released some really good albums on AFM Records. A really good band, kind of like Helloween but had the Jorn vibe. Jorn also got involved with a band called Ark, a fantastic band which consisted of ex-members of Conception, Torg on guitar. We also had TNT members, which was a brilliant album. They did 2 albums on Inside Out, Burn the Sun, and Ark, which is a fantastic album. If you don't have them, check them out. They're a great band, very unusual sound, very unique, a great band indeed. Anyway, Jorn was also involved with a band called Beyond Twilight, originally called Twilight from Denmark, but changed the name, and Finn, the keyboard player, got Jorn involved. Jorn was also involved with a band called Millennium, a band from Florida, a fantastic hard rock AOR band, a little bit like Whitesnake in places, but Jorn had a suitable and fantastic voice, really suited for the band's music. Also Jorn was involved with a band called Vagabond, which is also TNT members. Bit unusual, strange album. If you've heard the music you'll know what I mean, but it's nothing like TNT. It might have a little bit of vibe of TNT. Now also Jorn was involved with a band called The Snakes, which is basically former members of Whitesnake, Mickey Moody, Benny Marsden, a fantastic band. And if you close your eyes just for one moment and listen to the music, you'd think it was David Coverdale doing the vocals. That's how unique Jorn Lande is. He's an amazing singer, such respect for the guy. I mean, if you listen to him, he sounds a little bit cross between David Coverdale, Ronnie James Dio, but he also has his own unique style of vocals. Now this guy's come a long way since the beginning of his career, as we all know. A fantastic singer, certainly underrated, deserves more respect. Jorn was also involved with a project also on Frontier Records, which was called Alan Lande, which is Russell Allen from Symphony X, and also Jorn Lande. Fantastic albums. They did about 3 albums with Magnus Carlsen on guitar, former Primal Fear. Really good albums, and if you haven't heard them, you really need to check them out. I mean, we could talk forever about all the albums that Jorn's appeared on. He's done guest appearances as well as albums, but Ronnie James Dio's tribute gig, Jorn Lande appeared on stage in London Hyde Park alongside Glenn Hughes, a tribute to Ronnie James Dio. Fantastic gig. You know, if you was there you would have seen a fantastic show. Now Norway's got some fantastic bands, as we all know. We've got Conception, we've got TNT. We've also got other great bands out there, such as Circus Maximus, another great band. Norway's pretty well known for melodic metal, especially the death metal and black metal. Now Jorn released his first debut album on Frontier Records called Starfire in 2000, which is a fantastic album. Had a couple of covers on it as well, including the classic Deep Purple Burn song, which has been covered by many musicians in the past. In 2001 Jorn released his second album called World Change, also on Frontier Records. For me, this is my personal favourite album by Jorn. It's so unique, it's so diverse, the music's fantastic, features some great musicians, also features a drummer from Mayhem, a death black metal band, so he's done really well to come up the black metal mode and to do an album such as melodic and fantastic album as this is. In 2004, Jorn released his third album on AFM Records called Out to Every Nation, which is another great album, very much like World Change. Very diverse, some great musicians on here. This album also featured members of Pagan's Mind. Jorn's done so many albums in the past, as we know. He's also done some cover albums and some live albums, but he's a great singer, he's unique. He's one of the best out there, totally underrated like I said before. In fact, in 2010 he got that far that Jorn Lande decided to release an album, a tribute album to Ronnie James Dio, entitled Dio, which is just classic Dio songs. It's a great album. If you haven't heard it, check it out, he does a fantastic job. So now we're going to talk about the new album, Over the Horizon's Radar. Like I said, it's released on the 17th of June on Frontier Records of 2022. This album consists of 11 songs. The band's lineup consists of Jorn Lande on vocals. We've also got longtime guitarist Tor Moran, also Adrian SP on guitar, and bass player Nick Macaroni on bass guitar. We've also got Alexandra Del Valicio on keyboards, who's pretty well known. He's doing a lot of albums at the minute, as producing albums, He also plays keyboards for Hardline. We also have on drums Francisco Giovini on drums, who's also been involved with the Udo band. Now, the album was produced by Jorn Lande and mixed and mastered by Alexandria, who's a fantastic producer. He's been doing some really good, a lot of good great albums on Frontier Records of recent, over the last few years, especially through lockdown. Not only being a keyboard player, he's a great producer, he's got a really good ear for music, and he's been working hard with various bands, especially with bands on Frontiers. Now, I've just been listening to the first song on the album, the title track, Over the Horizon's Radar, which is a really good song. It kind of reminds me of songs from Out to Every Nation. It's got that vibe back from the old days that he did with his solo albums. It's a catchy song, it's sang really well. It's a mid-paced song, it's got that Black Sabbath vibe, Dio vibe to it, as Jorn's been doing for some years now. This song also has a little vibe of Thin Lizzy and also Dream Theater, maybe because of the keyboard sounds, but it's a really, really good song. It's really well worth checking out. Now, the second song on the album's called Dead London, strange title. It's got the Big Ben bells at the beginning of the song. It's a pretty mid-tempo song. It's not a really heavy-going song, but it's a catchy song nevertheless. It's also got a vibe of hard rock AOR, you know, kind of reminds me a little bit of Millennium, some of the light stuff that they used to do. That was one of Jorn's former bands. Now I'm just listening to the third song, which is called My Rock and Roll. This is a pretty good song. It's pretty catchy. It's a slow song, and it kind of reminds me of something he's done in the past. It's good, don't get me wrong, but there's not enough variation in this song. It's kind of like he's stepped back a little bit, but it is good, don't get me wrong. It's a really, really good song. More originality in this song. Now the next song is called One Man War. Now this is a better song than the last song, My Rock and Roll. This is a little bit more like Alan Lande album. You know, it's really catchy, really good melodic song, some great vocals here and some fantastic playing by all the musicians. It's a really well thought out song, great guitar solo. This is more like what I used to listen to with Jorn. It's a catchy song, really well worth checking out. Now the next song's called Black Phoenix. This is a really good song as well. It kind of reminds me of the album Only Are the Brave, or maybe Out to Every Nation. It's got that vibe from that sort of era. It's a catchy song. Like I said, Jorn is a fantastic singer. He's doing really well on this album. You know, he's one of the best out there. He deserves more credit than he deserves. Now on this song, I also like the way he's doing his melodic vocals, his harmonies. You know, it's a really well thought out song. And Jorn really does write some really good songs. I mean, he wouldn't have been doing this as long as he has if it wasn't for his ability to write good songs. Now the next song's called Special Edition. Kind of a strange title. You know, the song's pretty cool. It's pretty laid back. It's more like the laid back Dio stuff. You know what Dio used to do. Not as heavy, but it's still a really good song. Like I say, there's some fantastic playing on this album. This song's an additional great song as well. It's laid back. It's nothing too heavy. Jorn does a fantastic job on the vocals. Now the next song on the album's called Ode to the Black Nightshade. This is a really cool song. It's catchy. It's an up-tempo song. Jorn's really doing well on it. The guitarists are doing a fantastic job, so are the drums and keyboards and bass. It's a really catchy song, some great lyrics, some real good harmonies on this song. It's really well worth checking out, one of the best songs on the album. Now the next song is called Wings of Home. It reminds me of the band Ark, a song called Missing You. Fantastic song, it's really laid back, a little bit of guitar, a little bit of keyboards. Doesn't pick up, but Jorn does a fantastic job. It's a really good song. It would have been actually a great song to end the album. Next song on the album's called In the Dirt. This is a pretty cool song. Now I have to say, Jorn is one of these musicians that he's done some really good albums, some really good songs, but his music doesn't progress that much. He doesn't seem to do as much up-tempo songs as he used to do in his early albums, which is a bloody shame because he's a fantastic singer. You know, could really pump out a really good album. I would have virtually loved to hear a new album, kind of similar to World Change, which I think is the best album he's ever done. If he ever does a new album, which I know he will do, I'd just like to hear something in the vein of the World Change album or Out to Every Nation, which are two great albums. A little bit more oomph in these albums, Jorn, would make fantastic albums. So if you're watching this, Jorn, I hope you do some more up-tempo songs in the future. But like I say, this is still a great album, some fantastic songs. Now the next song is called Believer. This is a pretty good song. It's mid-paced, like I said before. There's a lot of mid-paced songs on this album. There's a couple of songs that are more up-tempo. You know, like I said, I'd love to hear him do more up-tempo songs like he used to in the early days. But this is a good song anyway. It's well thought out. Some great playing. Jorn's vocal ability is outstanding as always. And the last song on the album is called Faith, Bloody Faith. Now this is probably one of the best songs on the album. A great song to finish the album. It does pick up, it's quite mellow at the beginning, but when it does get going, it really does kick ass. It's a great song, It's up tempo. It's not a real fast song like he used to do, like I said before, but it's a really well thought out song. The band are really pulled together. Jorn's vocals are fantastic. I really like this album. I think the production's good. It's a fantastic album production wise. I'm going to give this album 4 out of 5. Like I said before, I just wish Jorn would do a bit more up-tempo songs, especially like the early albums that he used to do. So thanks for watching this review. I hope you like it. I hope you check out the album, and I hope he tours the UK and Europe soon. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. Be safe.